Good morning. My name is Stephen Crow. This is FTH 223 52750 Module 2 assignment. This assignment's about finding a hammer-fired pistol that we would like to learn more about, and then going through the exploded view of the gun, the Gun Digest book, to find a schematic for it, and then going over failure to lock, failure to unlock, failure to feed. So I actually had one I do want to learn more about. I actually just got this gun from my dad after my grandpa passed, so this was an inheritance piece for me. Smith and Wesson Model 39 TAC 2. It is empty, and I've got the ammo in the house. I've shot this gun several times already. I love shooting this gun. I've also shot my dad's 59.2 and his 39.2. These are fantastic firearms if you can pick one up. I highly recommend them. There's just a lot of really cool features to these that people are incorporating today on weapons that this gun had. I don't think they had them first, but I just think that they were really great in functionality. So the safety works as a decock, little things like that. The bluing on these are fantastic. The wood grips are great. Really can't say enough about how awesome these are. So I've got the exploded view of a 39 TAC 2, well, it's called the 39 Auto on the manual. First off, this manual's awesome, so I'm super happy to have it as part of this class. Really, whenever we're looking at failure to lock and failure to unlock, my mind starts going towards was the weapon fed correctly? Did it take ammunition correctly? For failure to lock, you've got to get the round up the feed ramp into the chamber. The slide has to go all the way forward, and then you're considered locked with a round in the chamber correctly, ready to fire. There's only a few things that would cause that not to happen. So either you have some sort of deformation of the chamber, the feed ramp could be causing issues getting around into the chamber. You could have an issue with the back of the slide pushing around forward. So if there's any sort of deformations in the metal, you would have to take the weapon apart and look at that and see if there's any sort of deformations there. Really, for failure to lock, though, that's really it. I mean, unless there's unless there's something really wrong with the front end of the barrel, but really it should all be focused in the chamber. I mean, I don't think there'd be really anything else that would cause a failure to lock on here. Now, failure to unlock is where there's some other smaller moving parts that if there are issues with those, now we're going to start running into some more complex issues. So the ejector, for example, the ejector and the spring that operates it, is there an issue with that? Is there a reason why the round, or no, I'm sorry, not ejector, extractor, is there a reason the round is not able to be pulled out, which would unlock that chamber? That could be a spring issue. It could be a broken spring. It could be a weak spring. You could actually have damage to the extractor itself. You could have ammunition issues that are causing the ammunition to be stuck inside the chamber. You could have issues with, if there was an issue with, a lot of round swelling or something like that, you could be causing some damage to the chamber, which is causing failure to unlock issues. So outside of that, there's really not too many pieces that would play into the lock and unlock part. The other big one is failure to feed. And these are all kind of synonymous with each other because it all functions around the ammo getting out of the magazine into the chamber and then out of the chamber to put a new round from the magazine back into the chamber. So your feed ramp, you could have issues with your magazine. That's always super important. A lot of people look at failure to feed and think something might be wrong with the weapon. Most of the time, in my personal experience, especially with like AR and AK platforms, it's the magazine. Especially for people that tend to keep all their magazines loaded, especially if they're fully loaded. I keep magazines loaded, but I don't keep them fully loaded so that I don't have all that spring pressure. Um, that's just a personal preference of mine and something that I was taught to do, and it's tended to cause for me not to have that many issues whenever I'm shooting. So if it's like a 16 round mag, I only carry 14 in it, and I'm +1, so now I'm 15 instead of 17, which is fine to me. Some people may not feel that way, and if they are going to carry fully loaded, my recommendation would be empty your magazine every night and reload it every morning so that you don't keep a magazine under spring tension the entire time that you own it. It's not doing any good sitting in a safe or an ammo box fully loaded anyway. So just release that tension on it and keep the healthier magazine. Keep your magazine healthier longer. Failure to feed, though, again, almost like locking, there would have to be, if it's not the magazine, there would have to be some sort of deformation of the chamber or the feed ramp or maybe the back of the slide pushing that round forward. There's really not too many other things that would play into those issues there. Unless you're having issues with I don't know. I really can't even think. Those are pretty simple. The rest of it's going to be like the firing process. So I don't want to get too much into that because then you're starting to blur the lines on the cycle of operations a little bit. But yeah, that's failure to lock, unlock, and failure to feed on a Smith and Wesson 39 Auto. And I think that was a pretty deep dive as far as lock, unlock, and feed. Again, it could go a lot deeper if you started getting into firing, because now you've got many more smaller components at play. But yep, other than that, that's it in a nutshell. So thank you.